Good evening. Welcome to Channel 8 Sports and East Brunswick High School Wrestling. Hi, I'm John Meggiolaro, being joined tonight by Greg DeMarco, former East Brunswick High School varsity coach, as we look forward to the East Brunswick Woodbridge meet. And Greg, East Brunswick comes in 2-3 dual meet record, but they really take on everyone in the state, don't they?
The competition is very tough. Their three losses have been the quality teams, and unfortunately, though, they've been hit by the injury bug. So that's going to make tonight's match somewhat competitive. East Brunswick has never lost to Woodbridge, but because of the injuries, it may be a very close meet tonight.
Greg, as you look at the East Brunswick team, where are they strong, where are they weak?
Well, their upper weights have been coming through very well. They do have good lightweights in addition to that. It's in the middle where they have to go through the test quite well here. That's where the crucial bouts will probably be won.
Well, we're pleased to be able to bring you this meet tonight, East Brunswick and Woodbridge, and we'll be back with the start of the action in just a moment. Well, welcome again. We're about ready. East Brunswick Woodbridge here at East Brunswick High School. And first weight class will be 103. For the Bears will be DJ Halpern, and for the Barons, John Tavares.
John, this promises to be a very good match here. DJ comes in with an excellent record, 9-2 record, and John Tavares from Woodbridge is 7-3. So this promises to be pretty exciting. By the way, they just had the coin toss, and the East Brunswick is home for the even matches. Now, this could be a crucial fact later on. That means East Brunswick will have to put the wrestler out first for even bouts, and on the odd bouts, Woodbridge will have to put out the wrestler first. This is somewhat of a new rule change, but it comes very much into play for strategy for coaches, and that's why we saw in the introductions 2 or 3 different wrestlers being introduced.
Okay.
Later on down the road, they're going to try to match up where they can get the most points.
East Brunswick in the green. That's Halpern. We're at 103 pounds. First bout of the evening. Halpern finished 3rd in the districts last year, Greg.
Yes, he's a quality wrestler, and he's off to a real good start this year. He's doing very, very well. His Woodbridge opponent comes in with 7-3 record. Both wrestlers seem to have that same type of body frame, somewhat lanky. Woodbridge in on a single leg, but he has to finish it before he can get those 2 points. Halpern defensing here with a whizzer, and he might be able to use some leverage in here now. Both boys still trying to get that takedown. Halpern in a bit of trouble here now.
We're in the first period.
Looking for a headlock, which he's going to try to secure control with. If he can get that control, if he can get this opponent to his back, he'll get 2 points. But no points awarded at all. Still 0-0 here.
Greg, when you talk about control, what is the referee looking for here?
Yeah, he wants to see that you are in total control of your opponent and that he doesn't have your leg or an arm around your body blocking that full control. Once you get that complete control, and only after that will he award the 2 points. So even though one wrestler may be on top of the other, that's not the crucial thing. Do you have total control? And that's what he's looking for here.
And that's basically a judgment call of the referee.
Oh, yes. Very much a judgment call.
And it looks like they'll move out of bounds with 5 seconds left, first period, no score. East Brunswick comes into this meet 2-3, Woodbridge 1-3, but don't be misled by East Brunswick's dual record. They play every top wrestling team there is in the state.
They've lost to 3 quality opponents, South Plainfield, Howell, and Manalapan. But don't be deceived either by Woodbridge's dual meet record. They are 1-3, but they've lost to Rawway, who's ranked #1 in Region 3. They've lost to Madison Central, ranked #1 in Region 6. And they've lost to Piscataway, who's 4-0, and they lead the GMC Red Division.
Halpern starting off on the bottom this second period. We have no score.
Okay, we're seeing a lot of action here, and he breaks away for an escape. That'll be 1 point now for Halpern. Starting to open up now, moving a little bit. He's been working this headlock now, trying to get it. Woodbridge defended it successfully last time. Let's see what happens here now. There's plenty of time for him to work this headlock move.
1:25 left, second period. Halpern has 1 point.
Okay, Woodbridge trying to attack here, but East Brunswick defending quite successfully. Really, both boys should get off their knees here. That's kind of a bad place to be offensively. You want to get some mobility by being up on your feet.
Greg, I know over the years you and I have talked about it several times. Certainly strength plays a part, but leverage, quickness, it all comes into play in high school wrestling.
Yes, you know, many people think that it's a muscle sport. The stronger you are, the more you're going to win, and that's just not true. We've had some very weak, if you'll call them, wrestlers in the past compete very, very successfully. It is really a technical sport. There's a lot of skill involved, a lot of strategy involved. It's just not muscles anymore.
30 seconds remaining, second period. Halpern on top, 1-0. 103 pounds.
Each wrestler here would love to get a takedown, get that 2 points, and get a lead. But both are defending quite well. They're both taking good shots, but the defense is there, and we're not seeing many points scored.
10 seconds. Kind of at a deadlock at the moment. And that's how they'll end up this second period.
Now, one of the things in strategy come here is the wrestler's choice. He can take neutral, top, or bottom, and he'll obviously play to his strength. So Woodbridge selects down, feeling that he can get an escape or reversal, but it'll be up to Halpern to prove him wrong and possibly turn him to his back.
Final 2 minutes, third period. Halpern working on the arm.
Yes, he has excellent mat sense, very, very good leverage.
Most of the action has been in the center of the mat with these two guys. Greg, how critical is it with that first man winning or losing to a team? Does it set the pace or the tone, or?
Yes, it can, but it's been my experience that any one wrestler can turn that momentum around. You'll get a kid who's not expected to win, he pulls an upset, and suddenly the momentum's changed. So it's nice to get off to a good start, but in truth, any wrestler can get the momentum going for a team. DJ's goal, by the way, is what we call the ultimate goal. He wants to get to Jadwin Gym this year. He's only a junior, and it's definitely a realistic goal. If he keeps working hard, he'll see Jadwin this year, and then maybe next year doing even better when he gets there.
And when we talk about Jadwin, we're talking about the state championships.
Yes, that's right. That's every wrestler's goal.
And we have a stalemate called. Halpern hanging on to a 1-0 lead with 41 seconds left in the bout.
Looking at DJ Halpern here compared to last year, he's greatly improved. He's doing very, very well here. He's got a far greater repertoire of moves, but this is a close match. An escape by Woodbridge would tie it up, and that's what we got right now. 28 seconds to go here.
Tavares comes out to tie it up at 1.
It's simple. A takedown wins it. A takedown wins it. If there's no takedown, it's going to remain tied. Two quality wrestlers. This late in the match, it's a matter of who wants it the most. Both are working very hard.
Here's where conditioning comes into play. 7 seconds. Tavares trying to turn Halpern over. 2 seconds. That'll do it. They give him 2. Tavares upsets Halpern rather, and the Woodbridge side is going nuts. Certainly it means a lot to them, this first match.
Very tough loss there for DJ. 2 seconds to go, and got taken down, put to his back. That is tough.
Woodbridge, the Barons, coached by Ben LaSala. East Brunswick has a group of coaches. Head coach Stu Cohn, assisted by John Mooney, Glenn Pazinko, and Jim Messerall. And we go to 112 pounds. where we have Ed Palladino from Woodbridge against Mike Capodanno.
Okay, yeah, Mike is an interesting story here. He's only a freshman, and he follows in the shoes of wrestlers like Glenn Pazinko and, let's see, Walter Toto, Kevin Maloney. Very few freshmen wrestle varsity on the East Brunswick program. He's got a 4-4 record coming into the match here.
It's pretty good for a freshman, I would think.
Yeah, he's doing pretty good here. His opponent from Woodbridge has a 5-4-1 record.
So another, apparently on paper anyway, close match.
Yes, yep.
If you're keeping team scores, it's Woodbridge 3 now, East Brunswick nothing after the first bout. We're at 112 pounds. This is Palladino from Woodbridge against Capodanno, East Brunswick.
Very tough for a freshman to compete at the varsity level. Aside from the pressure, there's just that lack of experience.
Mike fighting to get to his feet.
No points awarded yet. Now, here was an interesting call. We had a potentially dangerous hold, and that, I like to see a ref call that. Now, that's a hold that isn't dangerous yet, but it has the potential to be. The ref stops the match, and they start over, and that's pretty much what makes wrestling a safe sport. The referee has total control over that. Plus, it's one of the few sports you see wrestled on a foam rubber mat like we have here.
First period action, 44 seconds left. Capodanno and Palladino.
This is the first freshman to start varsity for Coach Stu Cohn. And Mike has proved to be one of the hardest workers on the team. He'll often stay after practice working with the coaches, trying to catch up with that lack of experience that he has here.
We're down to 20 seconds, first period.
By the way, this is the third Capodanno to wrestle for Stu Cohn. Vinny graduated in '88, Joe in '89. Stu Cohn, however, feels that Mike's going to Jadwin sometime.
Inside of 10 seconds. And that'll do it for the first period. No score. It'll be Capodanno's choice, up or down. I'm sorry, Woodbridge's choice.
Well, no, what happened there was East Brunswick had a choice. He could pick neutral, top or bottom, or a fourth possibility, he could defer it to Woodbridge.
Okay.
And the advantage of that is in the last period, you'll get your choice when you may be able to judge your opponent a little better. Many wrestlers will defer that because they want to get a feel for the match. Let him use up his choice.
Palladino trying to escape. Capodanno holding on tight, and they'll start over in the center.
I've been seeing a lot of action here in both matches, and spectators love to see that, and so do coaches here. These wrestlers came to wrestle, obviously, and we're seeing some very good execution of moves here. We're looking for Mike here to try some of his tilts. Woodbridge is sitting out and sometimes standing up, so kind of blocking some of Mike's favorite technique here.
Greg, do you scout a team? Do you know their tendencies when they're on top or bottom?
Yeah. Well, yes. Some teams predominantly you know what every kid's going to do on top and what every kid's going to do on bottom. They're just so well drilled and structured that they're very, very predictable. However, other teams, you really have to scout the individual because you'll find one kid is a good leg man, another kid likes tilts. So it's really a function of the coach as to how you're going to scout them.
1 point for Palladino.
Okay, that was for an escape here.
Yeah. 1:25 left, second period.
Mike's got a front headlock, which he'd love to turn his opponent with here. He should get a little motion here like he's trying to do, but Woodbridge is countering it. they're tied up. It's hard to see it, but Mike's in good shape here. Oh.
Stalemate.
Yeah, that's a stalemate call. The referee felt neither wrestler would improve his position, so let's stop the action and start over again. This is a big match for East Brunswick here.
Capodanno trying to attack.
Woodbridge blocking successfully though, and going hard here for the control, for the 2-point takedown, which
he's
just
got it.
Yeah.
3-0 now, Palladino.
One of the things you want to try to do on bottom is control your opponent's hands. We call that hand control or wrist control. There's not much you can do if you can control them. Woodbridge has a nice cradle now on Mike.
He goes out.
So we'll get a fresh start here now.
30 seconds remaining here in the second period. We're at East Brunswick High School, East Brunswick and Woodbridge. Varsity wrestling. Woodbridge won the first match at 103, and they lead the team competition 3-0.
Mike's got to try to get that first move. He tried to stand up, but Woodbridge countered by grabbing the ankle. East Brunswick's have a little trouble here with that inside ankle ride of Woodbridge. So you see him trying to work that hand control that I talked about. They're close to the edge. They might get a new start here in a second or two.
And that'll do it, end of second period. And as I get ready for the last 2 minutes, Capodanno is facing a 3-0 deficit. He's got his work cut out for him. Again, he's only a freshman.
You saw how quickly points could be scored in that last match. Within 2 seconds, 4 points were scored. So it's never over till it's over. Nice stand up by Mike. Now he's got to turn that into some points here by popping those hips out and breaking away from his opponent.
Out of bounds.
It's not enough to stand up. You got to break free of your opponent before you get that 1-point escape.
Both wrestlers looking for a little extra time. Palladino on top, controlling the match thus far.
Okay, Woodbridge is working here to get some back points. He's working pretty hard. In fact, he's got a cradle on right now, which Mike just broke, and that's fortunate. Now he's got to get some motion, get moving on this guy, and get out of there.
1:20 left in the period, and in this match. Palladino showing his experience. He's a junior.
Okay, Woodbridge working the cradle now. This is a pinning combination, and if he's successful with this, it could put Mike into some big trouble here.
55 seconds. Mike Capodanno fighting. He's got an arch now. He's on his back. Referee looking closely. 45 seconds.
He's in trouble here, but he fights out.
They'll get 2. Palladino will make it 5-0. 35 seconds. Same combination again. Palladino in a pinning combination, 20 seconds. Capodanno's got to hold on. Struggling, trying to get to his stomach.
5 seconds.
And that'll do it. 3 more points for Palladino. 8-0 is the final.
Okay, now you had a freshman versus a junior. That junior tried very hard to pin Mike. That would have been a big thing for Woodbridge if he could have done that. But Mike fought off his back and actually contributed to team effort by not getting pinned.
Next we'll go to 119 pounds. Juan Hartkoff will come out for the Bears, and he'll go up against Rob De Jesus.
Okay, the Woodbridge wrestler is a 6-3 record. One of the better wrestlers on their team. Normally East Brunswick would have Ian Silverstein in here, but he's out tonight with a stiff neck. So filling in is senior Juan Hartkoff. He's got a 3-2 record. He lacks that varsity experience, but as you can see here, he's determined. So hopefully East Brunswick can get some points on the board.
De Jesus throws Hartkoff right away to his back.
Okay, major mistake there. East Brunswick shot in with his arms up, and Woodbridge took advantage of it and just flipped him over to his back. So now
minute 5 in the period. 2 points already for De Jesus. He'll get 3 at least here. Hartkoff struggling to get out.
Okay, he's looking for that edge now, but you can see Woodbridge pulling him in.
45 seconds.
Okay, East Brunswick on the verge of coming out here. If he can pop his head out, get it out to the side, he'll be in good shape.
And they go off or out of the circle. With 32 seconds left first period, 5-0. De Jesus from Woodbridge. De Jesus on top, still in control.
Woodbridge wrestlers showing they like to ride that ankle, either the fore or near ankle. Now is Woodbridge wrestlers throwing legs in, as we call it, using the leverage from his legs to turn over his East Brunswick opponent.
And that should do it first period. So De Jesus goes into the second period with a 5-0 lead. Hartkoff, his choice. And he'll take the bottom position.
Interestingly there, Woodbridge lined up on what we call the odd or weird side. The man on top does have his choice. He can line up either on the left or right side.
Team score, it's Woodbridge 7, East Brunswick 0 after 2 bouts.
Okay, looks like the referee is...
You can see how dangerous that was.
Yep. The Woodbridge coach admonishing his opponent for doing that. We have a 1 point, perhaps unnecessary roughness against the Woodbridge opponent. Now this is a crucial thing here. If East Brunswick can't continue, they will win by default. And that would be a big 6 points for East Brunswick. The Woodbridge wrestler is very knowledgeable about this and is visibly upset. But as you can see here, the East Brunswick wrestler is in some pain at the moment.
And certainly it was not intentional. It's in the heat of battle. You get carried away, you make a move, your opponent reacts, and then you react.
That's right. That's right. It's a lot of split-second things occur here.
We're hoping that Juan Hartkoff is okay. We're waiting for Phil Hostler, the trainer, to come out, offer his assistance. Certainly the one thing you don't want to do is move the wrestler. And you see Coach Stu Cohn out talking with Juan. Is there a time limit, Greg? I mean,
Yes, there is a 2-minute injury time, and at the end of the 2 minutes, when it's all used up, you have to make a decision.
you as the coach.
Well, you as a coach, in conjunction with the trainer. Okay, who?
So basically, the wrestler has no say in. Because some kids will say, yes, I'm okay, or...
Oh, no, the wrestlers always have say, but it doesn't mean that much. It's the coach who has to make the decision, and here's a trainer now who is up at the other end of the building coming in. Fortunately, East Brunswick does have a very, very good trainer who can make the decision. Now, with the 2 minutes being up, and East Brunswick not continuing, that means that Woodbridge loses by default, even though he had a 5-1 lead.
And that's what they're looking at now. Phil Hostler looking at Juan and referee. Apparently, the Woodbridge wrestler has come off the mat, so the match is over. And right now, the most important thing is being sure that the young man is okay.
Yeah. And I've been saying this incorrectly, John. East Brunswick would have won by disqualification. Since there was a 1-point illegal hold or dangerous hold involved, and East Brunswick can't continue the match, then the Woodbridge wrestler is disqualified, and East Brunswick comes up with 6 points.
I have to be honest with you, I did not actually see what happened. I saw when Juan, I was looking down at my notes and looked up, and the referee heard the whistle.
Yes, well, it's like you called it, though. It was a very split-second thing, nothing intended, certainly on the part of the Woodbridge wrestler. They got into an unfortunate position. You notice the referee stopped it right away, but not before this injury was incurred. Most of the time now, they'll tell the wrestler not to continue, just to make sure that no further damage is done. So there's a lot of discretion involved here.
And we should say, too, that this is the exception rather than the rule in wrestling. And I know many mothers out there get nervous when their sons say they want to wrestle. And it's a relatively safe sport when you look at other sports in comparison.
Yes, it is without a doubt. Very few major injuries in it. Now, there are a lot of minor pulls and sprains and twisted necks, but very rarely do you get a major injury. And 3 things ensure that. I mentioned the mat that they wrestle on. It's 1.5 inches thick. You could take an egg and throw it up in the air, and it wouldn't break when it lands. That's number 1. Number 2 of the rules is many things which are illegal because they might inflict some injury. For example, you can't even grab 3 fingers of your opponent. You've got to grab 4 or more. You can't bend his arm more than 90 degrees. That's illegal.
And we see Juan Hardkoff getting up to his feet, being assisted by Phil Hostler, and that's a great sign.
The third thing that makes it safe is the referee. There's 1 referee for 2 wrestlers, and his primary responsibility is to ensure that the wrestlers are safe. So put those 3 things together, and you see East Brunswick walking off here under his own power, and I'm sure he'll put some ice on it, and he'll be ready to go again.
And that's a good sign, again, to see that. And, Greg, you're right. It was a disqualification against Woodbridge. The team score is now Woodbridge 7, East Brunswick 6. And we'll go up to 125. Excuse me, Greg. Dan Wendell for East Brunswick against John Novak.
Okay, and we have another replacement here for East Brunswick. Normally, Doug Perkle is the regular. He's a senior.
And Wendell right away to his back. Novak, a junior from Woodbridge, starting off very quick.
A very good junior, by the way. He comes in with a 6-3 record, and he's determined to make up for that 6 points that team lost last time around, so he's working very hard.
Wendell gets to his stomach, and Novak will pick up 2 points.
Now, Wendell's only a sophomore, John, and this is his first varsity match tonight. and he's wrestling a quality opponent who's mad. Now, you can say he's in a tough situation here.
And he'll get one for the escape. 5-1 is the score, as Novak has pretty much had his way thus far. Wendell, though, showing his tenacity.
Yep. Blocking off quite well here, but I think this Woodbridge opponent's setting him up for something.
50 seconds, first period.
Wendell's going to be good. He's a very young wrestler, works very hard, still learning, and this is going to be one of those learning experiences for him here tonight.
And I think that's one thing about wrestling, particularly in the high school level. You all have those experiences at some point or another.
Well, I'll tell you the truth, John. You don't learn much winning, but take a loss and you'll be surprised at how many things you find wrong. This Woodbridge opponent is highly skilled here, and I'm sure Dan's going to look at this tape and pick up a few things. He's in trouble now. Woodbridge putting him to his back.
That's Novak. He's got Wendell to his back. Wendell bridging nicely. Four seconds left in the period. If he can hold on, 2-1, he'll do it. 3 more points for Novak, however. It'll make it 10-1.
As a coach, John, I've always, and this sounds strange, I always wanted my wrestlers to have at least one loss. Nothing like a loss to let the kid know, hey, there's work to do out there yet. And we would move kids up, as East Brunswick is doing, since I've left, to get good competition. They have a tough schedule. They just entered this Top of the East tournament, which is one of the toughest in New Jersey. Get that experience, get your losses, and then learn from those losses.
Ready for a second period. And there's nothing like actually wrestling out in front of the crowd. Much different than wrestling in the wrestling room.
Oh, much different. Yep. The trick is to get it to be the same. Where you do in practice, you'll do it out on the mat in front of a crowd. But with the inexperience, that tends not to happen.
Wendell in trouble again. Novak showing his experience and his skill. 10-1 is the score. Novak having no trouble.
So Dan's first varsity match here, and it's a test of fire at this point.
We're at 125 pounds. 3 more points for Novak. It'll be 13-1. Is it at 16 points, Greg, that they cut it off, or?
No, there's 2 ways the match can end early. Way number 1 is a pin, in which case the match is terminated. You don't continue any further. But the second way, and this is what Woodbridge is trying to do with a lot of effort, is to secure a superior decision. And that will occur when there is a 14-point difference between the 2 scores.
30 seconds left, second period.
Once that difference is reached, that's called a technical fall, and the match will be terminated.
And a good rule.
Yes. Well, I know one wrestler lost the match 22-0 once.
Oh, good.
As a freshman. And the newspapers played it up, and they said, this shouldn't be, and the kid was embarrassed. 3 years later, that kid was a state champion. So maybe he did learn something. I don't know. Some coaches feel that the ultimate in wrestling is the pin. So you shouldn't stop the match until that's secured. Another group of coaches feel that even if a kid is losing 14-0, he still has that chance, that 1 in a million chance of catching his opponent.
That's right.
And
you never know.
Right. So they've tried this for a number of years. It seems to be pretty well accepted. This technical fall.
Dan Wendell in his first varsity meet having a tough time of it. It's 13-1 against Novak of Woodbridge. Third period now. be a pin for Novak. And I'll have to say, Greg, recognizing the fact that this is not the top line of East Brunswick wrestlers, but I'm impressed with Woodbridge. I mean, when you think of wrestling, Woodbridge isn't one of the first schools to come to mind.
No, this is a good team we've seen so far from Woodbridge. You can see it in their technique. They're doing very, very well here.
This should be a good one. Brian Mintz for East Brunswick at 130 against Dan Frezza.
Okay, Brian is the captain of the East Brunswick team and is the team's best wrestler. He was 31-3 last year as a junior. He's off to a 5-1 start, and he's coming back to action now after a 2-week layoff due to an ankle injury. But
and Mintz grabs a leg and has a takedown, 2 points.
East Brunswick's looking for 6 points here.
They trail in team score 13-6. And a nice move by Frezza. They'll give him 1, so 2-1 here in the first period.
Okay, now you're going to see Mintz here demonstrate some pretty good technique. He is a highly skilled wrestler. He works at it all year long. He has, as coaches like to say, paid his dues. He's definitely one of the best wrestlers in the county here, and the state. He's a state caliber wrestler.
He lets Frezza up, not before picking up 2 more points though, and he leads. That is Mintz, 4-2. And he drops Frezza down to the mat for 2 points. 6-2 now with 45 seconds left in the period. First period action, 130 pounders.
Good technique here by Brian. You see he's always keeping his cool. He doesn't mind his opponent getting a 1 or 2 points. He's in total control of the match. A wrestler's a wrestler here. We can't say enough about him. He's actively being recruited by schools like Lehigh, Rutgers, American University, and is going to be a very, very good college wrestler.
Inside of 15 seconds. And a potentially dangerous hole as Mintz had Frezza's arm in an awkward position. So with 10 seconds left here in the first period, they'll go back to the center. Mintz having his way thus far, 6-2.
By the way, at the next weight class at 135, Mike Pilato is having a real good season. He's out with an injury tonight, though. But a large part of that is due to the fact that he works out with Mintz, and it rubs off. Frequently you see a picture of champions, and there'll be 2 kids from the same team right next to each other, and 10-1, you know, that these kids make that 9-10. I teach math. They worked out together. So it's good. That's where you improve, in that wrestling room, and if you've got a good partner, it means a lot. Boy, Brian just made that look so easy. And you've seen wrestlers all night struggling to get out, and he just flowed right out. Nice stand-up. Nice single leg. We have a clinic going on here, John. This is some good wrestling.
We're in the second period, 7-2 rather, Mintz. And they'll give him 2 more points to make it 9-2. Frezza ran into a buzzsaw tonight by the name of Brian Mintz.
We're getting a clinic. This is good wrestling, good technique.
2 more points makes it 11-2.
By the way, I might mention that Mintz's parents are very supportive of their sons and, in fact, wrestling in general here. It's good to see that. Wrestling can be a good family sport. A lot of people can get involved in the family. In fact, I have 3 daughters, and they all keep score at wrestling matches and so on. So it's a family sport.
Score is 13-4 as Brian has basically let Frezza get up to his feet several times. And the referee talking to Mintz about use of his hands. And now Stu Cohn wants to talk to the referee. Now they're going to look at the headgear on Frezza. Appears that Brian caught his finger in part of the headgear. That's mandatory now, isn't it, Greg, headgear?
Yes, for many years it wasn't, and we had a major problem in wrestling with cauliflower ear, which is a big problem in the sport of boxing. But the headgear has drastically reduced that. It's even mandatory for these boys to wear it in practice. So
Good idea, yeah.
I might add too, though, the headgear's got to fit properly.
Right.
Some wrestlers have headgear that causes cauliflower ear because it just doesn't fit properly. Mintz here in total control of the match. You see what I mean by technique. Just gets in on a single leg, drops his opponent to the mat, lets him up, doesn't worry about the fact that there's a one-point escape because he's going to take him down again.
15-5 is the score, and you need a calculator in this match. 22 seconds left, second period.
Mintz working a front headlock here. Oh, nice duck under to a pinning combination.
Frezza to his back.
Smooth as silk.
10 seconds.
Nice combination.
And he's pinned with 3 seconds left in the second period. Brian Mintz.
A big 6 points for East Brunswick there, and he did it on a move which wasn't strength. It was just outright skill. Beautiful duck under and kept it, brought his opponent right to his back.
So East Brunswick registers its first pin of the evening. And we'll go to 135, where John Zabel for Woodbridge should come out. And we're not sure who it'll be for East Brunswick.
Okay, I believe Mike Pilato is going to be out here tonight. He'll return next match from an ankle injury.
It looks like Mike is warmed up, though.
Oh, yeah? Well, it could be. Maybe they're going to get him back a little bit early here. We'll see how that goes.
Nope.
Whoever it is, they're going to try to follow in the footsteps of the machine, Brian Mintz, that continued last time.
Ted Lung, I believe it is. Or, no. Darren Mutnick. It's Darren Mutnick for East Brunswick.
Yes, Darren's a junior here. He comes in with a 4-3 record, and he's filling in for Mike Pilato, who will return next match or for an injury.
And he's up against John Sable from Woodbridge. Team score, Woodbridge 13, East Brunswick 12. So this has been a very exciting match thus far.
Very good, very close here, and it's anybody's meet. So let's see how it goes. East Brunswick's got to keep the momentum going here.
And they'll bring it back to the middle. First period action, 135 pounders. Darren in place of Mike Pilato tonight. And, you know, Greg, we talk about, you know, Darren coming in, and we mentioned tonight Dan Wendell. Boy, you can't have enough depth, I guess, on a high school wrestling team.
No, you can't. But sometimes you'll get a guy who's second string, and he'll come in and, like, you'll say, who is that guy? You know, I've never seen him wrestle that well before. And it's not luck. It's a matter of these JV wrestlers preparing for the day when they walk out on that mat as a varsity wrestler. You know, all year long, they'll work hard, maybe in the shadow of a very good varsity wrestler, but something, you know, an injury or a varsity wrestler has too many bouts. You put them out there, and they just shine. And coaches love to see that. These JV wrestlers are second stringers. That's what they live. They live for this moment, to get in that varsity uniform and be in the varsity lineup. So you'll see them. They'll be out there giving their every last bit of strength. They want to do good.
15 seconds left, first period. Darren Mutnick for East Brunswick against John Sable, Woodbridge. Greg, you mentioned something that I think we need to pick up on. varsity wrestlers are only allowed to wrestle so many matches.
Yes, absolutely. Going into the district tournament at the end of the year, I believe they're allowed just 22 total matches. That includes tournaments and dual meet.
So that'll end the first period. No score, Mutnick and Sable. And Woodbridge will take the bottom position to start the second period.
John, what some schools will do, not many, but I like to see them do it, is they'll overschedule so that there might be a total of 25 possible matches. Mm-hmm. This means you have to put in your second stringer to wrestle a couple varsity bouts. That means in turn the third stringer gets to wrestle JV. So everybody benefits by overscheduling. I might say in addition, so generally what happens is you have that kid wrestle in some of the weaker schools that you might perhaps shut out. Mm-hmm. And shutouts don't do anybody any good. It doesn't do the winning team any good. It doesn't do the losing team any good. So maybe they'll get a few wins in there and balance it out a little bit. I always dreamed of winning every match by 1 point. Of course, I'd have more gray hairs if that happened. But
well, what is the coaching philosophy as we watch Darren Mutnick here for East Brunswick? Still no score in this particular match. Do you go for a dual meet record, or is it the individual wrestlers and their records?
Okay, some schools will go just for dual meet records. I think maybe Cedar Ridge might fall into that category. They're very concerned with dual meet.
2 points for Sable, excuse me, Greg.
Yeah, very little emphasis on individual. On the other hand, a team like Ridge, it's all individual and very little dual meet. A lot has to do with the type of school. If a team's going to give up a lot of forfeits and you're going to lose a lot of matches anyway, we're getting around here for a reversal. If Darren can just finish it, and he couldn't.
Darren trailing by 2-0 with 48 seconds.
We got a lot of action going on this match, John. This is very, very good. I'd have to say that East Brunswick emphasizes both. They want to get a good dual meet record in, and they want their individuals to do well. But some schools, because of their situation, just can't do that. I think Ridge is a classic example of it. Darren he keeps moving here on bottom, and that means just about anything can happen. Woodbridge working to turn him over. Darren struggling to get out and make up for that.
Inside of 30 seconds.
Make up for that 2 point.
If he can get up to his feet.
Popping it off there, and he gets 2 points
and he does on the reversal.
Nice technique by Darren. Very nice. Okay, maybe this will change his momentum around now. He should be looking at the clock, being aware that there's only 18 seconds left, so you don't, in this period, you don't want to give any points away.
We're tied at 2. Mutnick on top.
Okay, Darren working to break his opponent down here. Looks like he's getting a half Nelson in. Woodbridge getting up to the feet.
And he'll go out with 5 seconds.
Okay, now as they go out, there's even an art when you go out of bounds. You want to look at your coach, get some instructions. You want to look at the clock, see how much time is left, know what the score is. You just don't go out and start over again. There's a lot of work to be done in those few seconds to getting back to the circle.
And that'll do it here in the second period. We're tied at 2, and we got a good one going.
Okay, now we have the crucial third period here with a tie score 2-2, but Darren's got the momentum.
Couldn't help but notice after that out of bounds, he had a little jump in his step coming back to the center.
That's right. Now he's got to take advantage of it. Looks like Woodbridge is starting to tire, but you just can't sit on that. If you sit and think, well, I've got this thing wrapped up, forget it. You got to wrestle 6 minutes. Darren's starting to come around. He worked that switch before.
Third period action, 1:30 left.
Okay, nice.
And there he is. There's a reversal for 2.
Nice.
Mutnick now leading 4-2.
This could be a big win for East Brunswick. We've got a lot of time left though in this third period, but he has the momentum. Woodbridge is visibly tiring here.
He may get a warning. He's not doing much, Greg.
Yep.
Sable looks like he's gasping for air.
Darren's got legs in now to use his leverage to his advantage, but he's got to get his opponent down to the mat. He could be in trouble here, but he's handling it very well. Using legs are like dynamite, John. You can blow up mountains and move a lot of things, but on the other hand, it can backfire too and be destructive. You got to know your leg wrestling. But I'm very impressed with Darren here. He's doing a very good job.
35 seconds. And Darren looks pretty fresh, all things considered. He leads 4-2.
Okay, he's getting instructions from the coach here and knows how much time is left. Conditioning is so important in wrestling. You could be the world's best wrestler, but if your body only goes for 4 minutes, it's that last two you're going to get a beating.
25 seconds. Mutnick trying to hang on to a 4-2 lead. And doing a nice job of it. 20 seconds. Crowd behind him.
Okay, Woodbridge trying move after move, but he lacks that edge. You can see he's straining to do those moves.
5 seconds. Mutnick's gonna do it, 4-2.
Okay, that's a big victory there for East Brunswick. Big match.
Exciting one as we go now to 140. I believe it'll be Kevin Ruck for East Brunswick against Matt Kager. And we're still waiting for East Brunswick at 140.
I think they're deciding who's going to go here.
And it will be Kevin Ruck. What's that really do, Greg? All that posturing around, does it really make a difference? Or?
Yes, it does make a difference. Okay, Kevin was a champion in the Hamilton East tournament. He lacks varsity experience, but he's coming out here pretty good. He's in control of this match so far. Very nearly got a takedown there.
East Brunswick takes the team lead for the first time this evening, 15-13 in terms of team score. £140, first period action, no score. That's Kevin Ruck for East Brunswick.
Kevin's very good defensively on his feet here. So he's going to look now to try to spin behind his opponent and secure the 2 points. He's close to doing that, but they're out of bounds. So far this evening now, we've split bouts. East Brunswick's won 3, Woodbridge 3. But East Brunswick with a 15-13 lead.
.44 seconds here left in the first period. Kevin Ruck, East Brunswick against Matt Kager, Woodbridge. We mentioned East Brunswick came into this meet tonight with a 2-3 dual meet record. Woodbridge 1-3. But again, these records somewhat misleading given the nature of the competition.
By the way, John, this is a big red division contest here. Three teams are undefeated in the red division. That's Piscataway was 3-0, Madison Central 2-0, and East Brunswick 1-0. So they're all three tied for the lead. Woodbridge being a division opponent, this would certainly help out East Brunswick's chances with a win here. Kevin very close time and time again in getting that takedown, going out most of the time, and here real close again to getting it, but no points for nice try. It's just not enough. You got to get control in the circle.
So that'll end the first period, no score. Ruck and Kager. And Greg, I want to pick up on something you mentioned, you know, the GMC standings. There are wrestlers who will not make it to the districts, will not make it to the regionals, will not make it to the states, obviously, but yet they could say they were part of a county championship team, and that's just as important.
Yes, that's true, John. It's wrestling is both a team sport where you can win team awards. Even at the state level, we have the state sectionals where you can win team awards, but it's individual where 1 year I remember Lakewood had a wrestler. Lakewood was 0-14, but that didn't stop one kid from being a state champion. So that's the nice thing about the sport. I kind of like to think it's a team sport. The only difference is instead of us doing our jobs all at once, like in football or basketball, we do it one at a time.
Right.
So, and you'll see the wrestlers on the bench supporting each other, yelling encouragement. Very, very much a team sport.
Still no score as we're down to 1:30 in the second period.
Kevin did select down, and that would seem to indicate that that's his strength. So he's got 1 minute and 25 seconds here to get some points. He did select the down position. So he's got to get out now. He's got to score those points. This is theoretically his strength here. He's got to work on hand control a little bit. He's up to his feet now. He's got to turn quick and
face the wrestler.
Okay, he's got to get control yet. The Woodbridge wrestler still has his legs, so there's no control.
1:10 left, second period.
He's got plenty of time, but that ref may call a stalemate if Kevin can't get a little motion in here and at least make it look like he's going to get. Oh, but he broke the grip. That's a good sign. He's still got to get behind a little more.
And he does, and he gets the 2 points.
Big two there. He's got to get behind here. Oh, okay.
Did he lose it?
Yes, 1 point escape.
So 2-1 as they go out of bounds. Ruck holding on to a 1 point lead. 49 seconds left in the second period.
Credit to Kevin, though. He chose the down position. He did get that reversal. But unfortunately, he lost that 1 point escape. Oh, nice move there, but again, out of bounds. Kevin is so close. If he could just finish his moves a little bit better here, this wouldn't even be a match. He'd be in total control.
30 seconds remaining, second period.
Oh, again, close. This is killing me, John. This is so close every time. But it's the points you get that counts. That's the problem.
Well, you certainly want to make your efforts pay off, particularly in this sport.
Okay, Woodbridge now called for stalling. If you notice, East Brunswick's been taking all the shots, and in the referee's opinion now, Woodbridge hasn't been doing much.
You get one warning and then points taken away, right?
Yes, first time it's a warning, and you can see now Woodbridge being a little bit more aggressive after that initial warning.
10 seconds left, second period. Ruck holding on to the 2-1 lead.
Woodbridge taking a shot, and Kevin successfully defending it to end the second period.
And I think Kevin having a little bleeding problem through the nose. And so injury timeout?
No, not for a nosebleed. There's no injury time involved there. They'll stop the bleeding here in a minute, and then Kevin will come back out and continue the third period. Might add that this does permit kind of a breather for both wrestlers. Interestingly enough, now East Brunswick can't coach the athlete while he's incurring this injury time, but Woodbridge can. So Woodbridge is getting instruction while East Brunswick here gets some medical attention. They're both getting a rest. So it'll be interesting to see how they come out and start the third period.
Ruck holding on to a 2-1 lead. Team score again, East Brunswick 15, Woodbridge 13. These are 140-pounders. Kevin, a junior. And what is a very close meet tonight, surprisingly so.
Well, with the injuries that the East Brunswick has incurred, Stu Cohn knew it was going to be a tough match. In fact, he felt that it was all dependent on the coin toss as to whether they were going to do well tonight. That's how close things were.
Ruck on top, riding Kager out.
Woodbridge selected the down position, and you see it seems like he's got some energy here. But Kevin knows what he's got to do. He's got to control his opponent. Don't let him out. With a 2-1 lead, John, in the last period, this is kind of the longest 2 minutes anyone can endure. Like, you want it to be over in a hurry, but that clock just slowly ticks. There's so many skills you have to learn in wrestling. You've got to learn top moves with pinning combinations. On bottom, you got to learn escapes and reverses.
Oh, and Kager driven hard to the mat. Both wrestlers looking to turn their opponent over. Both appear to be okay. Well, you're on offense and defense.
Yes, sometimes at the same time.
1:35 left in the match. Ruck trying to get Kager down. He leads 2-1.
That's Kevin's problem right here right now. He's got to get his opponent flat on the mat. Letting him get to his feet or stay on his knees, he's dangerous. He can score escapes and reverses. You got to get him broken down. Of course, that's easier said than done. Woodbridge doesn't want to be broken down. Okay, now we got him flat. Now we got to be working a pinning combination.
Ooh.
Okay, you see here how East Brunswick certainly not meaning to push his opponent out. And you see a good display of sportsmanship.
Just a thought, and why we watch Kevin Ruck here. Did you know of any wrestlers who did a lot of talking while they wrestled? You know, antagonizing their opponent, or you don't seem to hear it or see much of it, but I mean, you've been around the sport a long time.
I think the only one was, and he didn't antagonize his opponent because that's not permitted.
Okay.
You really can't do that. But Darren Shulman used to ask a lot of questions of the referee. Darren, of course, wrestling for Syracuse now, and he constantly asked the referee, why did he get a point there?
Okay.
But no, to be honest with you, the wrestler is busy out there. And we see Kevin here working now to turn his opponent over. Was almost able to do it. You really have to think. You know, you look at it and you say, well, there's not much going on, the push and shoving, but he just went out of bounds. He looked to his coach, getting help there. He's checking the clock out. You know, saying, oh my goodness, 42 seconds to go yet. He's thinking, well, what did my opponent try to in the past to get out, and how can I counter that? There isn't any time to talk.
Any thoughts about having the wrestlers wear mouth guards or have mouth protection, or is that permitted?
Yes. Generally, wrestlers will wear braces, certainly will wear mouthpieces. For the most part, it's not necessary. However, with rising insurance costs, you never know what they might require wrestlers to do.
29 seconds remaining in this match, and it's been a good one. Kevin Ruck for East Brunswick holding on to a 2-1 lead.
John, one other reason wrestlers don't talk much out there is they're doing all they can to get as much oxygen into their body. Forget talking, they want to breathe. You know, wrestling is such a tough sport. You wrestle for a minute and you will be exhausted. You use every muscle in your body. It's tough. Okay, Ruck's got to keep his opponent now down just for 15 seconds here. And I'm getting nervous. I don't want to see this thing go to the wire.
He's up a little high on him, but he takes him down with 7 seconds.
He recovered nicely. In fact, he might just want to stay there on the edge. Oh, they went out of bounds. Okay, East Brunswick now is warned for stalling. Referee maintains that he's kind of just holding on to those legs. And I got news for you. For the next 3 seconds, that's exactly what Kevin should do. He's got a 1-point lead, 3 seconds to go.
You don't do anything.
Grab an ankle and hold on. And that's what he did.
And he'll do it.
It was close.
Almost, as Kager gives it his best, but Ruck will hold on for the 2-1 victory at 140 pounds.
Good, smart wrestling on Kevin there. He knew the situation the whole time through. He wrestled a good bout. That's a big win for East Brunswick.
We're up to 145. This will be Greg Thorney for East Brunswick against Don Councilman for Woodbridge.
Okay, Greg's only a sophomore, and once again, he's filling in for an injured regular starter, Jay Adaccio.
Adaccio, yes.
He's out with a stiff neck. In fact, it's more than a stiff neck. He has a neck injury. He's out for the season.
Oh, boy.
So Jay's coming in here as a sophomore.
Greg me.
Yes. Let's see, and his opponent is?
Don Councilman.
Okay, Don's got a 4-5 record for Woodbridge. Obviously has some experience here, but Greg now is going to do what he can to get some more points for East Brunswick. Well, I shouldn't say. This is Greg's vastly experienced. This is his second varsity bout tonight. But you see these fellows, they're ready. I mean, they practice. They go through the same practice as the varsity wrestler, and some of them just relish the opportunity to put that uniform on, get in that lineup, and show this crowd here tonight what he's capable of doing. It's something you try to instill in your wrestlers. When you wrestle a tough opponent or you're in a tough situation, don't worry about it. Don't cower from it. Say, hey, this is great. I got a great opportunity here, to show people what I can do against this 3-time state champ or whatever. But some other wrestlers go out there and they'll just cower and not wrestle at all. Forget that. Okay.
Well, it's a sport like on it, no other. In terms of the dedication that's required, the perseverance, and
well, I tell you, the big plus that wrestling has over every sport is its weight classes. You wrestle somebody your own size. It's not like in one sport where it pays to be big and strong, and another sport where you got to be big and tall, or maybe in track where you got to be fast. You wrestle a kid your own size. You can be 100 pounds and be a champion, or you can be 275 pounds and be a champion, and be of equal value to the team.
All right, end of one period, no score. Greg Thorney, rather, for East Brunswick against Don Councilman. And Thorney will be on the bottom to start the second period. Team score, it's East Brunswick 18, Woodbridge 13.
Okay, Greg trying to get out now, and he's inexperienced, but you haven't seen him stop. You haven't seen him give that, gee, I'm worried about this guy look. He's out there wrestling. It's great. There we go. He should get 1 point for that. Oh, well.
Class.
Now, this is interesting. The referee did not give 1 point escape, but the Woodbridge wrestler, in an attempt to block him from getting out, locked his hands, which is illegal. You can't lock your hands when in the offensive position unless it's a pinning combination. So Greg picks up one point. He's still in bottom where he's got a chance of getting out. I mentioned too, John, the advantage of the weight classes. Do you think there's any disadvantage to weight classes?
Never really gave a thought, but certainly I don't see any.
There is. It's called losing weight. It's called trying to make the weight class. And this is wrestling's nemesis. You have to watch your weight. You have to work hard. All your family is eating desserts, and you're donning on some sweat clothes to go out and run and lose a few pounds. Nice takedown here.
Nice takedown, right. Tharney, 2.
Good move there.
And he'll pick up 2 more. He had 2 before. It's 4-0 now. Somehow we must have missed something.
Okay, I believe.
I didn't see
I believe he had the 1-point penalty, 1-point escape, and then.
Right, that's what it is. Yes. Okay.
That's the 4-0. Okay, but Greg looking very good there. Momentum going his way.
He's got 50 seconds left in the period. Just to finish that discussion on weight classes and the danger in that wrestlers try to lose weight.
Well, there's no danger if they do it properly, but that's the major problem. Teenage kids, they got this habit. They like to eat, and it's they like to eat foods like sweets and all the things they shouldn't eat. So it's an education problem. You try to get them to eat the right foods.
Escape for Tharney. Rather, he lets Councilman go. So it's 4-1. 12 seconds.
Okay, now Greg's got to try to spin behind here, which he's trying real hard to do, but Woodbridge is blocking. Woodbridge in on a single leg. You've got one wrestler see, now he can lock hands in a neutral position. You can't do it when you're on top, unless, of course, you're pinning your opponent.
So we'll go to the third period. Tharney with a 4-1 lead, and very methodically is doing a nice job out there.
Yes, I think this is a critical weight class here for East Brunswick. They got to keep the momentum going. They've won 3 weights in a row. This is a big match.
145 pounders.
So getting back to that weight problem, it's well, one of the biggest problems we have in America today is people being overweight. So anytime we have an opportunity to teach good health habits and good nutritional diets, it's probably for the best. It's just when it's in excess that there's a problem. Okay, you see Greg really keeping his opponent pretty well flattened on the mat, although now he got up and the wrestler from Woodbridge tried a roll. Greg defended that. He's trying to work some pinning combinations. Got to stick with him a little bit longer. He's kind of jumping around a bit too much here.
Inside a minute left. Tharney, 4-1 lead.
Okay, and Woodbridge was just warned for stalling there. Woodbridge kind of sitting around on the mat. But Greg working hard here.
"35 seconds.
Okay, Greg's doing a good job here. It's only his second varsity match, and he doesn't look like it's his second varsity match. He looks like he's been around a lot longer.
20 seconds now. 4-1 Tharney.
Okay, trying to work this cross-face cradle. He's got to come out front a little more. Woodbridge visibly tired here, and it does seem to be that East Brunswick conditioning has paid off in the last couple matches.
And that should do it. 4-1 final. Tharney at 145 pounds comes away with the victory.
Okay, Greg's only a sophomore, and John, you're going to see a lot of good things from him. He handled himself very well out there.
We'll go to 152 pounds. And for Woodbridge, it'll be Mike Kovacs. For East Brunswick, Dave Zach, 152 pounds.
Okay, looks like we have some strategy going on here. Woodbridge indicating that East Brunswick's got to put their man out first. You know, this is where the juggling is going to take place. Yeah, Woodbridge has got to put their man out first, and that's what East Brunswick is waiting for here. They have a very good wrestler here from Woodbridge called Mike Kovacs. It's been around for a long time. Woodbridge looking over at East Brunswick trying to figure out who they're going to put out. But East Brunswick's waiting and saying, come on, Woodbridge, get your man out there. That's the rule.
Any longer, and we'll throw you out there, Greg. Here we go.
No, it's okay. Okay. Okay, and you see a little shift here now. The coach's strategy paying off. This Kovacs is a quality wrestler from Woodbridge.
And this is against Dave Christensen.
Right. A little juggling took place.
Dave, who usually wrestles at the 160.
Yep, but he's light. Obviously, he's
right.
made this weight class. So here you just saw a classic example of coaching strategy, and let's see if it's going to pay off over the next two bouts here for East Brunswick. Kovacs has been around, like I said, for quite a while. He's a quality wrestler in the county. Christensen now is only a sophomore. Lacks that varsity experience. In fact, he's filling in for Bill Schultz, who's out with an infected ear.
And you can see Kovacs' skill as they go out of bounds with 1:13 left here in the first period. Team score, East Brunswick 21, Woodbridge 13.
By the way, Christensen is an accomplished football player.
Yes, he is.
I think wrestling is the kind of sport that complements a lot of other sports, football being one of them, gymnastics another. So I always like to see wrestlers go out for two or more sports, and other players as well.
Christensen will pick up 1 point. Kovacs leading 2-1. 40 seconds left in this period, first period.
Christensen only a sophomore here, but you see the Woodbridge opponent very confident, very calm. Woodbridge is looking for 6 points here. Certainly in this match, anything less would in fact be a victory for East Brunswick.
You can never go in too confident or overconfident, I guess.
No, you can't. You can't. You never know what's going to happen. You know, when a wrestler walks out on the mat, John, you look at it and say, well, he's got to beat his opponent. But in truth, he's got to beat 3 people every time he walks out on that mat. Naturally, he's got to beat his opponent, but also he's got to beat the referee. You may find this hard to believe, but sometimes referees make bad calls. And yeah, I've heard this. And you just have to be good enough where even if you get a bad call against you, it doesn't make a difference. But sometimes you lose a match, you're the better wrestler, but the ref makes a bad call. A third opponent you got to worry about is the kid's coach. I mean, maybe he scouted you, maybe he's got a move that can defeat you. So unless you beat all 3, you can end up losing. You can beat 2 of the 3, but still be on the short end of the score.
Referee talking to both Kovacs and Christensen. They were staring each other down after that move out of bounds. Kovacs on top, 2-1, second period.
Christensen starting from the weird side there, but he locked his hands, as you see the referee indicate, and that's going to be 1 point now for Woodbridge.
Boy, I look across and I see Dave's dad in the crowd, and the anxiety and anguish that a parent goes through.
It is unbelievable what parents go through. I've known some parents, when their kid wrestles, they go out and into the lobby. They can't watch. other parents wouldn't even come because they're just so apprehensive. You know, it's tough on a parent. I mean, it's not like in a team, in a normal team sport where, you know, your kid's out there with 10 other guys or whatever.
That's right.
I mean, your boy's out there and everybody's looking at him.
That's it.
Everyone.
No place to hide.
No place to hide. And it's tough. I really feel for, that's why I had 3 girls.
Planned it that way, huh?
Yeah. Okay, a nice reversal there by doing a switch by the Woodbridge opponent. He gets 2 points for that.
And you got a point before for the class poll, so it's up to 5 now, 5-1 Kovacs over Christensen, but it's not been that easy. Don't let anyone kid yourself.
No, he's fighting for his points here. East Brunswick want to get some motion here now. He's on his feet, so Christensen's want to face him and get that 1 point, which he did.
5-2. Dave goes right back at him. He's not intimidated by Kovac's record or history or experience.
East Brunswick with a good young team here. I believe they have 11 starters returning, but Dave's in trouble now.
Kovacs turns him over with 110, and that's it. He's pinned.
Okay, colorful display there by the referee,
Yeah.
hitting the pin. He has his own style, but Dave has nothing to be ashamed of here. That was part of the strategy, and if he hadn't gotten pinned, that would have been fine. That would have been a victory for East Brunswick.
That'll bring us to the 160 level. We'll see who East Brunswick puts out on the mat. Marco Rodriguez is expected to come out for Woodbridge, and it is Dave Zach for East Brunswick.
Dave Zach, senior, having a very good year. He's got an 8-3 record. You see him in on the single leg and converting it to a takedown. Nice trip out there.
2 points right away for Zach.
Dave was a runner-up in the top of the East tournament, highly competitive. And really, he's been the surprise on the team. He's doing much better than people had anticipated at this point in time.
Team score, East Brunswick 21, Woodbridge 19. And it's been back and forth all evening. Zach leading 2-0.
Dave's looking forward to going to college next year at North Carolina. You see him working the legs here now quite effectively on his opponent. It's good to use legs if you know what you're doing because you can really wear your opponent out. Instead of just having 2 arms now, you've got 2 arms and 2 legs working them over. And that can really take a lot of energy out of your opponent. And I think you see that happening here. Woodbridge is audibly grunting and groaning, and Dave is just working real well here. Now he's got a half Nelson in, working very hard for the fall. Coaches love to see this. He's working real hard for the pin. Got his opponent over. This could be a big
Rodriguez
6
is
point.
dead, and he's dead. With 20 seconds left in the first period, and he's pinned by Dave Zach.
Okay, a great win there. The coaching strategy really has paid off. Zach may have had some trouble with the Woodbridge opponent from last time, and there's a possibility East Brunswick could have lost 2 bouts of the last 2. They split them evenly, so East Brunswick here is in good shape. The strategy paid off.
171. We'll go with, for East Brunswick, Billy Nadonally against Rob Peterson of Woodbridge.
Boy, I like the way that Zach worked on top. Boy,
Yeah.
he looked good. Nice.
Team score, East Brunswick 27, Woodbridge 19.
Okay, Billy Nadonley here, being a junior, has a lot of wrestling experience. He's really paid his dues. He's worked hard in the out of season, particularly in the summertime, attending camps. He may be less than tonight. You see his right elbow injured there. So trying to gain some strength back from an injury.
Peterson is a senior for Woodbridge.
Okay, I think you're going to find now with 3 bouts remaining, East Brunswick coming into one of its strong areas here. Billy John's experienced, and then the last 2 weights we have 2 other wrestlers for East Brunswick who are equally as experienced. And East Brunswick did what they had to do. At this point in time, things are going a little bit better than had been anticipated.
Inside a minute now remaining in the first period. 171 pounders. Nadonley for East Brunswick, Peterson for Woodbridge. No score.
Okay, he's been out for a while with that elbow injury, and his conditioning may be off a bit tonight here for Billy John. But that move
There he
is
goes.
enough.
He's got him.
He's got a front headlock here. His opponent to his back. He can smell the pin. I mean, you can see he wants this bad. Okay,
Donnelly driving hard, 32
driving real
seconds.
hard. He's in good shape now.
Just squeeze and hold.
Squeeze and hold, but Woodbridge trying to work a counter. I know he's on his back. Well, now he's in bad shape, Woodbridge. Billy John knows there's very little time left. He's working real hard, wants to get that pin.
And Greg, what is the pin? The shoulder blades? Both shoulder
the
blades?
shoulder area, not necessarily the blades. Could be the tops of the shoulders. 7 seconds ago, and there we go.
Well done. Nadonley pins with 7 seconds left in the first period.
Okay, he's gonna have a good year. You wait and see. He was the outstanding JV player last year. He was a JV county champ. He's gonna play a vital role this year and next year in East Brunswick's wrestling plans.
We go to 189, and here's a young man you like, Greg. I know we were talking before the start of the match tonight. Scott Kammerer.
Guy Scott is some wrestler. I saw him at Top of the East. He doesn't have that much experience. I think this is only his 2nd year, but very coachable. Look, he's on a single leg. Very confident. He is tough. This kid is tough.
Scott Kammerer, 189 against James Elliott.
Last year, he was tough but unskilled. Now his opponents have a problem. He's tough and he's got technique.
And Elliott hurting a knee that's been wrapped.
Yeah, Elliott had looked like he came in with a knee injury. Okay, but so they're going to take a look here at his knee.
Now, is this another question of a default or disqualification
well,
rather?
This is different than last time. Last time the injury was called was caused on an illegal move. Okay, there was a penalty involved. This time you saw it was just a flurry. There was no illegal hold on East Brunswick's part. Subsequently, if Woodbridge can't continue, okay, East Brunswick will win. And East Brunswick would win by default.
Phil Hostler working on it.
Phil, by the way, is, I like to say he's the best trainer east of the Hawaiian Islands. He's been around a real lot. He's president of the Athletic Trainers Association. He's active in everything from getting legislation done to training students to be trainers. Has written books about athletic training. If you've got a kid injured, you want Phil Hostler to look at him. And he's going to make a judgment. He will say, you may continue, there's no need to worry about further injury. Or he'll say, no, you can't continue. There's a chance you'll get hurt some more.
Good sportsmanship there as Elliott and Kammerer shake hands. Again, it wasn't intentional. But I think Scott smells blood.
Scott always smells a victory here, and he's 11-0 right now.
And he's working right away on the half.
He won that Top of the East. He's a quick pinner. He strikes like lightning. You see here now.
He's got him, Greg.
I almost hope he doesn't pin this guy. I want to see him wrestle some more.
Minute 5 left in the period. He's got plenty of time. He's leading already, 2-0. Now he's got a cradle on Elliott, or going for it. 50 seconds.
Scott was born to wrestle. That's what it comes down to. He's a natural out there.
Reminds me a little bit of that 189-pounder from Ridge. I think it was Ridge.
Okay, from a few years ago.
Yes, and he does it. He's done. With 33 seconds left in the first period, Elliott is pinned by Kammerer.
You're going to see Scott go places. He's only a junior. I expect him to get the Jadwin gym and perhaps do something when he gets there. He's improved so much over last year. It's incredible. Okay, I might mention too, he probably rolls around with Glenn Pazinko,
yes.
Former East Brunswick wrestler who's now assistant coach, and his brother Matt now coming out to wrestle.
And Matt coming off of major knee surgery, or knee injury anyway.
Yes.
From football this year.
Football, but has bounced back quite well. Okay, and
he's up against Jason Panko for Woodbridge.
He's 3-0 right now. Matt, he's pinned 2 of his 3 opponents, and apparently he's recovered quite well from that injury.
And this is the last bout of the evening. Team score East Brunswick 39, Woodbridge 19, a 20-point bulge. How heavy can a heavyweight go? Okay.
It used to be it was unlimited. In fact, that's what they call the weight class, unlimited. But you had some heavyweights that were 190 and another heavyweight was 360, and that wasn't good. So they now have put a limit. The limit is 275 pounds. So that, in fact, some heavyweights have to lose weight. You know, then maybe they weigh 280 or 285, so they got to lose a couple pounds to get down. And I think that's a good move.
Oh, yes.
Any teenager who weighs over 275, I'm sure it's unhealthy. Okay, Matt working real hard now to secure the takedown. He was 4th in the district last year, and a very dedicated wrestler. Wrestles as much as he can, attends camps and clinics, and of course has brother Glenn to beat on him every night. Well, you may notice there's a lot of wrestling families.
Yes, nice takedown.
Oh, nice takedown, yep.
2 points for Pazinko. 50 seconds left in the first period.
Okay, Matt in total control here. Matt's only a junior. He's got all this year, all next year to go. This is a nice young East Brunswick team. Next year,
watch out.
I said it, it's a year to bear. Look out.
And he's got Panko on his back. East Brunswick looking to pin out and finish off the evening with the 3rd consecutive pin. 24 seconds. The referee looking, and he's done with 18
Beautiful
seconds
job.
left.
Yep. Matt's 3rd pin of 4 matches. Great.
So
Matt,
East Brunswick finishes with 4 consecutive pins to finish off this dual meet, Greg.
Matt is back. Look out. Okay, and John, we had a great meet here tonight. East Brunswick came in with, what was it, 4 or 5 injuries. A number of wrestlers, first varsity match or second varsity match. This Woodbridge team is a skilled team, and they just did a real nice job here tonight. East Brunswick really came through. They did great.
I think, you know, when you talk about East Brunswick wrestling, you talk about tradition, you talk about men like Stu Cohn, you talk about men like yourself, Paul Quirk, others who have maintained this fine tradition. And throughout the state, when you talk about East Brunswick and wrestling, it's synonymous.
Yeah. It goes way back. It goes back to the days of Jay Doyle in
yes.
the 60s and 70s. In fact, another assistant coach, John Mooney, wrestled for Jay Doyle back in '72. Glenn was a former East Brunswick wrestler. Stu Cohn was a former one. It's like ghosts haunt this gym here of wrestling coaches and wrestlers of the past. And it is a very proud tradition. goes back a long way, and it helps. It's nice to be in that environment.
Well, East Brunswick coming up with a dual meet victory over Woodbridge tonight. And so for Greg DeMarco, who I thank very much for joining us this evening, this is John Meggiolaro saying thanks for being with us. I have the pleasure of being joined by Brian Mintz, the East Brunswick High School captain. Brian, you're wrestling at 130 this year. You pinned tonight. How'd it go for you?
I think I opened up a little bit more than I normally did tonight, and felt pretty good out there. Next Saturday I got a tough match, and hopefully I'll wrestle strong there too.
Brian, you come in a very experienced wrestler. What do you look for in terms of improving? Do you look each meet to try a different trick, whether it be offense, defense?
Well, I think I've been a little too conservative lately because last year I figured the guys know that I'm going to beat them or something. Sure. But you got to remember, they're coming out even harder. And I was a little too conservative the past 6 matches. And I think tonight I opened up a little bit, and I wasn't worried if the guy took me down, whereas I know if I should be able to score more points where one takedown shouldn't bother me as much.
What's in your future in terms of wrestling?
In terms of wrestling, you mean this season?
Yeah.
Hopefully I'll be back in the States, and hopefully I want to win them. You know, it's a tough road down there, sure. But that's my goal.
Well, you're off to a great start this year. We want to wish you the best of luck. Again, Brian Mintz winning tonight by pin over his Woodbridge opponent.